So here is the nitty-gritty behind the scenes of how self-defense was made. As you can see here, it's pretty much just a compositing project. There's nothing else going on, so I'll just get rid of these. I'll just maximize this actually. So starting with the movie clip, well, let me render it through once just so we can see what we're doing. I don't know why these don't actually save the thumbnails or anything. So here's the action-packed finale that we're trying to achieve here. So my viewer node over here, this is the original footage. It's just me in front of my green screen propped against a chair, and you see it's not even big enough to fill the whole frame, and that is a slight problem. If I'd set it up better, it would have been a little easier, but really I got this done in one day. No big deal. So the first thing I do with this original footage is I scale it to fit the render size, and then I feed it into a keying node, which, if you take a look at this, I don't know what any of these do, but I know it's a lot simpler than setting it up yourself, and I know that it works really well because I literally just clicked on this, did the eyedropper, and I clicked somewhere up near my head, if I remember. Oh, I don't want to eyedrop now. I just clicked, because you see it changes color a little bit. It's a little brighter and bluer down here, and this is a little darker. So I just clicked, at first I clicked off here and it didn't work all that well, and then I clicked the darker part and it worked absolutely perfectly. So if you have a well lit green screen, which in front of me here behind the camera, there's two large curtained windows with white curtains. So they just act like giant softboxes and give a really even, bright illumination, which is exactly what this green screen technique needs. If you have just a overhead chandelier light or something, then it's going to be brighter on top than at the bottom. And this is pretty even, so it made it very easy with this keying node. It's just one click and you're done. I'm glad they threw that in Blender 2.64. And then my next step, and I don't think I even need all this stuff. I kind of want to try to build it over. Let me save it real quick in case I mess this up, but I want to try to do it without and just see. Well, no, because like I said, I have this stuff on the side. I do need this. So I did a little bit of masking, and I'll switch over to the masking tools to show you what I actually did. I'm gonna, wait, do I have to open? Background? I feel like I'm starting over now. Why do I, oh, mask. And then I can choose my mask. Okay. So I actually just want this. This is what I did for masking. So as you can see, I have a few layers to my just one layer one mask and 3 layers of the mask, if I'm going to be particular. And so the big one is my body, and I just went, not very precise. I didn't have to get every ridge. I didn't have to go through my glasses and really mask myself out. I just, if there was some aberration over here, if there was a little bit of stuff left over from the green screen node, from the keying node, I wanted to get that out. So I just wanted to say, alright, I'll get it as close to me as I can, not be too precise, and then just filter out any weirdness that might pop up. So then I went through the whole thing and masked myself like that. They kind of got twisted a little bit clockwise as I went along. Not quite sure why that came to be. But here I am. My bullet one is still floating up here. I should have done that a little differently. But like I said, it all worked out great. I had another mask just for the gun, just out of simplicity. I didn't want to go overboard. I didn't realize that the shot was panning either. I never realized that. So anyway, I had this little one for the bullet just to say, alright, I want the bullet to actually show up. I don't want it to get masked out in this process. Because part of the reason that I need this around myself is so I can say, alright, inside of it, just take the green. For all this fine detail, just figure it out according to the chroma key. But then outside of this line, for this corner and for the black bars and for the wall over here, outside of the line, I want you to not I want you to not include it, so I can just explicitly say, don't even worry about it outside of this mask. And same with the gun mask. These all just get added together. They all just combine into one big thing. So I'll go back to the compositor and finish talking about this. So I have my mask set up from all that stuff, and then I invert it just because I have to. And then that gets, let's see, what happens here? It gets lightened, which is like adding together. It gets lightened with another output from this keying node, the mat, which I'm not completely sure what it does, but if you look at it, I don't know all the intricate details, but I can tell by looking that it pretty much returns what the green screen does. The white is the white part is not green and the black part is green. That's what it returns to me. And then if I add that or lighten it with the mask that I created and invert both of them, that's part of it. Let me do that again. If I take the inverted just straight out of the keying thing, so now black is what was green, and that's what I said before. I'm not sure what's going on. But if I take this output from the keying node and then lighten it by the mask that I made, I end up, you see, the edges disappear. That just cleaned up all that stuff. And there's a little bit of my gun reflecting the green. I think that's what that part is. But otherwise, this is a lot better. It's a lot cleaner than this. If I just use that, there would be weird parts of my wall sticking over the part that I was trying to do. And so then I take this lightened image, the one that I'm showing now, with complete white behind me, and I use that as the factor for an alpha over, and I alpha this original movie clip over the other movie clip, which I'll show you down here. And this was taken just moments after the first one. I took down the green screen, I took off my coat, and I just walked in from the side and pretended to sneak up on myself. And then the final result is like this. You can see me behind there and me in front of there. And even on pretty close inspection, there's no green highlighting and there's no weird artifacts from it. There's a little bit of a shadow here, which comes from the fact that my mask wasn't very close. And this is the kind of, like I said, aberration of color that I was trying to avoid, because it got a little bit darker down there, and so it's kind of putting in a little bit of shadow. I could have cleaned that up by making my mask tighter to my shoulder, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with this result. Even with my glasses, I'm very impressed with how well this worked out for almost no effort that I put in.